for this meeting. Um, I think we definitely crushed the numbers from the last meeting. Um, However, I would like for everybody to do something for me so that we know you're here. Uh, I know most of you have muted your mics. I would like for you to unmute your mics and then mute your mics so we can see kind of who's here and who's not.
Hello.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
You just want the Christmas tree, right?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, we're still preparing a little bit of the last bit of stuff we're gonna say here, but I guess we'll go ahead and get the music started here. I'm the War God, Fleet Admiral of the clan. If anybody who doesn't know me, always feel free to pop in or send me a message or something and say hi. Who has an open mic?
Not me.
Okay. Anyway, it's a pleasure to have all y'all here. It's a pleasure to be part of this organization and to lead this organization. And I would like to see if Major Steele could have been here, but apparently he can't be here tonight. He's the person who actually heads Fight as a gaming community. I just head the warships portion of the clan. Given what we have going on here, I want to go ahead and address like how we did this season in clan battles. We're going to go ahead and start into that. I took a look at kind of where we were from last clan battle season to right now. Our main team in 5D, they did 327 battles last year, and they had a 53.52% win rate. This season, they went from 327 battles to 338 battles. They had a 55.33% win rate, so they actually jumped up there about 1.8%. 5D2 made Typhoon this time, just like the 5D team did. Last season, they had 288 battles. This time, they have 297. And the win rate jumped from 52% to 54%. That's a percentage and a half. The 5D3 team had 325 battles last year and 310 this year, and they jumped from a 50.15 to a 50.62%. And 5D4, which isn't competitive, they made improvements and gains too, but that's still an ongoing process. And as we're going to make them competitive this next season, we'll start tracking them from there. I know we have some questions about what we're going to do whenever we open another clan here. We're about to open 5D5 in the next coming months, and we're about to start searching for leadership. And part of this agenda that we're having here, some of the other officers here are going to go over a little bit more in detail about that. But essentially, we do have some opportunities for some leadership here. We're going to have people get with their captains about that and let them know that they're interested, and we'll consider them from there until we firmly decide on a process for how we're going to do that, and we haven't done that yet. It's going to be a little bit of a work in progress. But we are going to develop 5D5 into a casual competitive clan, which means that they're there to play, but they're not necessarily the team that we think is going to reach Typhoon. They're there to play for fun more than anything else. Whereas 5D4 will become a more competitive clan like 5D1 through 5D3 is. And people who don't necessarily want to be part of clan battles but want to be part of the clan, we are putting them in 5D7. So you guys see some people moving around here, and it's that there's logic and there's reason to it. And if you have any questions about it, you can get with one of the admirals, and we'll be happy to answer them. With that, we have Jim here. Jim, you back?
Yep.
Okay, you're up.
Appreciate you, War God. There we go. So some of the things I've got 8 things on the chat list here to cover. The first one is everybody knows my big stick is the community relations, right? That toxic environment, the thing that Mike started back in the day when they first hit the purple tags, and he asked us this, the reputation of 5D in the community, it matters. I will say over the last year, I have foot stomped this. I have had moments where I've challenged people and I've been like, hey, I saw what you said in chat. That's not okay. I've asked you guys to hold yourselves accountable and your peers accountable. And I am now starting to see the fruits of that. You know, it's not perfect. It'll never be perfect, right? There'll be those moments where people just explode. I get it, but I will say that there's a trend going up where I get into a match and people say 5D, what's up? And that trend I want to continue. That positive, you know, don't be a dick in relations, but actually be a reliable, predictable, awesome person. People are excited to see a tag in the game. So thank you for that. And again, foot stomp. Please keep up the good work on that. Um, recap on our competitive teams. 5D, 5D2, Typhoon. If we had a way to clap and applaud right now and chug a beer, let's do it. That is fucking awesome. Big congrats to all those guys who made that happen. As you know, before this last clan battle season, there was talk of consolidating 5D2 with 5D because of attendance issues, right? Both teams, both divisions are extremely healthy right now. So, the future is looking very optimistic on that end. So now from an admiral seat, our shift is looking towards 5D 3 and 4. For 3 and 4, I guess I owe you guys an apology. We haven't, things take time. It took 3 clan battle seasons to kind of get 5D and 5D2 established, and now we're looking at 3 and 4. So if 3 and 4, what does that mean? Hopefully that's good news for you. Hopefully that means that those who want to compete and improve that competitive edge, we're going to look at setting up processes to help you guys get your skills up. I do know that like Sherber was down there last season. That was a huge help, right? And 5D4 arguably is in the toughest spot. 5D4 was initially casual, then it became competitive, and now they were defined as competitive, but they still took a casual approach. Bad Bob's going to talk more on that later, but the point is I'm prepping you guys now. We hear you, we see you, we're on the way. Okay, so let's grind through it together in this next calendar year. 5D 3 and 4. I look forward to seeing where we are next Christmas. Okay. War God mentioned 5D 5. So 5D 5 initially was kind of like, hey, go to 5D 5 if you don't want to compete. But it turns out that the competitive teams are running so strong right now that we're gonna need that port soon. And it just makes sense for cohesion for 5 to be a competitive expansion option. It wouldn't make sense to make 7 the competitive option. Like, hey, 5 is completely casual, go to 7. That doesn't make sense. So in there's about 30 accounts in 5D5. So if you have a 5D5 tag right now, just giving you a heads up. Right now, today, it's fine. If there are people in that clan that have not logged into this game over 30 days. There's a lot of them. I will send them messages. They're not getting kicked, right? But we need to start cleaning house. I don't know who's not coming back. They haven't messaged me and said, hey, I'll be out for a while. I'll send them a message that says, hey, right now I noticed you've been out for 30 days. If you come back to the game, come find me. We'll find a placement for you, right? But we need to start preparing 5 for a future expansion. 7, I'll say this for the guys, 7 is starting to populate more and more actively. Same thing, half the guys in there. There's one dude in there that hasn't logged in 900 days. I don't even know how many years that is, right? There's no need for that account to be in their holding spot. You guys, the port in 7, I acknowledge is not as strong or healthy as 1, 2, 3, or 4 is, or even 5. But here's what I would ask. It's get in there and grind that oil, and that port's going up. Today, there was enough oil to expand the officers club by 1, which put from 30 member cap to a 35 member cap. There's 10,000 oil left over. So 5,000 oil. Traditionally, that's about a month worth of grinding. 5,000 oil, now we'll be able to push it to 40 members, right? And it's that exponential benefit of the oil grind. So if you're not doing competitive play, and if you're looking for the social, that's fine. That's what 7's for. That it's just time. That port will be up and completely stacked before we know it. Let me see what else we got. Collars. So there's been some discussions about the collars. The short answer is this: as everyone knows, the captains and commanders they manage clan battles. That's what they're there for. So collars will not be getting rank. That's not what this is. It's not. You're a I don't know lieutenant now or something, or an ensign. But they're trusted members in that community. So respect the collars. We've had issues where people have come to us, War God and myself specifically, and told us they had issues with the calls being made in battles, or maybe they ignored the caller. But you do need to respect the caller in a competitive environment. I think we all get that. It makes sense when you're at a battle. It's when you're in battle you have to have that self-control check on the inside where you go, all right, I'm going to listen to him. We can debrief afterwards in the port if you kind of had a different idea in mind. Then you can talk it out. But you need to respect the callers. That is something that, it's like in the real world at my work. I know my boss has my back as long as I'm not wrong. Right. So if a caller's being respectful, I need you to go here. This is what's going on. And you choose to ignore that caller. Understand from an admiral seat, I'll speak on behalf of myself. If I get involved in that discussion, I'm going to support the caller. Okay. So you've got the backing there. And I'm pretty sure that the admirals will be able to all agree with that. That's the way to go, as long as there's no personal lines being crossed there. Not calling belittling people. Off season, I continue to hear chat about the captains and commanders, and I think people have unrealistic expectations of their captains and commanders at times. It's a very much it depends type response. A captain and commander is not expected to be there for 4 hours a night during clan battles, 4 days a week. That's unrealistic. It's a game. But they are expected to set up processes so that the fleet, the division, can compete, right? There should not be a moment where there's a team ready to drop and nobody has the ability to drop, right? If you're just upset, well, where's my commander? Well, he's probably with his family, or he might be on a date. It might be his anniversary, right? Like, you need to give him that respect of being a human. Otherwise, we're going to burn them out, and it's going to be a negative performance at that point out of them because nobody will be happy. So off season, I wouldn't expect to see the captains or commanders around here much. I'd expect them to go play other games, chill out, take vacations, whatever. Um, and if you've got questions about that, here's the thing. One reason why we have a large leadership team here, there's so many admirals and all these captains, commanders, is we're all here. So if you can always reach out to any of us and we'll all support you. Mergers, great news for 5D. 5D has had a successful merger with RQL. So for all the RQL guys, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. Having you guys merge with us has been nothing but a blessing. From the personalities, the diversity, the friendships that are forming, the skill levels. Hey, don't put that skill, put this skill, whatever. It's awesome. It went quicker than I probably would have if I was in control of the whole thing than I expected. And the reason why I bring that up as well is like we are talking with a couple other fleets about other potential mergers in the future, so that people know if somebody ever talks to you about how does mergers work around here. What we look for is true integration. What does that mean? That means that if a fleet is coming over, that they can expect their members to kind of be divvied up over 2 or 3 divs, probably. Just that way, they not to break them up, they can go with their cores of friends. Everyone has cliques, but to just give them that window to get to know us and for us to get to know you. We've seen it in the past where we gave a merger a port and that team never integrated. And one day they left. Why? Because they never integrated. They were never really part of us. So we don't want that to happen again. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to us. I want to highlight in here that we have lost some of our Australian friends. Sherper and Neptune, I believe. I could be wrong. If there's more, if there's less, let me know. But they have taken advantage of that window to consolidate their accounts on the Asian server, which is their time zone. But we owe them a thank you. Hopefully they'll catch this recording if they're not here now. Neptune has been part of this family for years, and he has, from the first time before the oil competition came out with the stars and all that stuff, they called it something else. He's the one who's always kept us informed of tournaments. He's been there to help us out. Hey, this is going on. We should participate. Neptune has been a huge blessing for years. We appreciate everything he's done here. Sherper was on that team when this people here crossed Typhoon for the first time last clan battle season, and then he spent the previous clan battle season going to 5D3 to help those guys out. Very selfless on his end, and we owe him that public acknowledgement and a big thank you and a best of luck on the Asian servers. Tournaments. So Plato and I have become, as the admirals, we're your tournament reps, specifically for Shipstorm and King of the Seas. What does that mean? That means that we're going to post an announcement similar to what you saw last time in the Fleet Announcements channel, and we're going to ask people to acknowledge, are you in, are you out, green check or red X or whatever, and that'll help us. We'll give the tags to the channels, Shipstorm channels, the King of Seas channels, and then you'll be able to go in there, and we will make it simple. All the information you will need to run those tournaments will be there inside those channels. We'll walk you through what you have to do. Here's what we're not going to do. Once you acknowledge that you want to participate and we give you those roles to go in there. But if you don't go in there when we tag you and say, hey, I need you to know, in or out, where's your teams, whatever, we're not going to chase you for weeks on end. Like that's not the whole point. We're just trying to make it easier for you. So if you're interested and you click that little green checkbox that says you're interested, and you decide that you're not interested anymore, just let us know. That's fine, no big deal. But don't let us chase you for 5 personal direct messages end on end while other guys are waiting to see if you're going to join their team or not. That's just not fair to them. On that, that brings me to the next thing, which is Discord, Fleet Announcements channel. We have 229 members with accounts in 5D as a whole, about 150 to 180 active, as in they play every day. And when I announced the the last one was Shipstorm. When I announced the Shipstorm tournament, I had 35 people respond to that message. Um, that's not okay. If out of all of these channels, you have your division channels, you have Fleetport, all this other stuff that's set up for you to enjoy the community. The one channel that every member in here needs to pay attention to is fleet announcements. That needs to be your routine. You log in, check fleet announcements. Typically, we don't blast it every day. You're not going to be spammed with crap because when we do post in there, it is a true fleet announcement. We need you to either read it, be aware of it, or respond to it. So go ahead and help us out there. The Admiral team works really hard here, and at least show us that response. Next one, Admiral rotations. So the Admiralty will be rotating through the fleets every clan battle season. Not all of us are going to change divisions, but the goal is that every single clan battle season there will be a different admiral helping you out to support you, and there's a lot of benefits there, right? The admirals stay connected with all the people in there. The relationships are built. You get to learn who that admiral is, hear what they think. You know what I mean? And then if there's ever issues, you know them. It'll keep the cohesion amongst the divisions. What we don't want is, all the admirals are pent up in one division and they're speaking on behalf of 6 divisions. Well, you may not even know what's going on over there, and I'll speak from personal experience. I thought I had a pretty good idea what was going on in 5D2 6 months ago. Well, I just ran with those guys, and it turned out that I wasn't exactly accurate, and it was hopefully I was a benefit to them. I'll thank them publicly for letting me run with them. I learned a lot. It was great, and I'm looking forward to 5D3. I'm headed down there next. Sem will be headed to 5D4. King of the Sofas is headed to 5D2. Next one. Warguide alluded to some questions that he's been getting. 2 of those questions are recurring themes. Well, actually, one of them is a recurring theme, and it's training. This is where I'll just say right now, the admirals are discussing ways to implement training here, so that way we can improve the skill gap. There is a large skill gap as a fleet as a whole. There are some competitive divisions that, quite frankly, are just better than other competitive divisions, and that's not against anybody. So don't take it that way. That is saying that we recognize that there's some divisions around here that can um, really benefit from a training program. So more to come on that. The other one, which is a new trending question, is promotion interests. I take people want to move up the chain as a positive sign of a healthy organization. Things are awesome. People want to get promoted. They want to be put in positions. They want to be trusted with responsibilities. Again, we are discussing that right now of who, how, what, where, when, and why, all of that stuff, right? What I would say right now is uh, we would be interested to know if there's anybody in here that is interested in either a new responsibility, a promotion role, whatever it is, captain, commander, admiral, running contest. There's a whole bunch of things that people do here, right? But if there's something where you feel like, hey, this is something I'd like to do, send me a message. You can do it now, or whenever, think about it for a week and let me know. The door will never be closed on this one, but just send me a message and just say, hey, I heard your all call message and I might be interested in this. Please consider me. And from there, at least we'll have a data point that we can understand better of who's actually interested and just we'll discuss it, and more to come on that. On that, last thing I have, as promised, if anybody has anything they would like the Admiralty to pay attention to, we share it in the officers chat and we'll discuss things. Last Clan War season, I told you I would ask you for a one up, one down. I'm going to offer that as well. If you have, you're not required to, but if you have a one up and one down, something you liked this last clan battle season and something you didn't like, go ahead and shoot that over to me. I will consolidate it. I won't put your name on it, and I will post in the officers chat. Largely, what we had last season, which hopefully you saw improvements on this season, was a trending, I'll say, concern over, I sat in the competitive team room and they didn't play me for 3 hours. I wasted my time. That we saw a lot of that last time. Well, we asked the commanders and captains, and well, they came up with this as well to kind of be more clear about expectations. If you log into the game, did you know? Were you able to ask your captain or commander and say, "Hey, am I going to run tonight?" And maybe they told you, "Hey, the Alpha team is pushing. We're going to make a push for Typhoon or Storm 2 or Gale 3. I don't know, whatever. We're going to make that push tonight. So maybe not tonight. We're going to stick with these core guys." Or maybe they went, "We're running Bravo tonight and we're just going to rotate out every hour." So hopefully that's what's happening. Hopefully you saw an increase in that and people weren't wasting their time, sitting around and, not being played. On that end, I would like to introduce to you guys Plato. Plato is a rear admiral who came over from RQL, and I'd like to let him introduce himself to you, so that way, just meet and greet.
Hey guys. So as Jem was saying, I came over during the merger with RQL. I was a deputy commander in ARQL, which was the feeder clan for RQL for a few seasons. And then when we merged with RQL, I became a deputy commander in that clan. If you guys have seen Red Avenger around here, he was our commanding officer. He is a wealth of knowledge. If you guys see him, feel free to say hi. He's very friendly. He won't bite. I've got about 5 seasons of clan battles experience under my belt. And on behalf of RQL and all the members that came over, I just wanted to thank everybody for making it a painless and seamless integration. It's been very easy, very pleasant, and we all feel like we're at home. That being said, I'm going to try and keep it as brief as possible because we do have a lot of information to go over tonight. So I just want to touch base on a few things that I've seen. So I'm just getting to know everybody still in this clan, and everybody's getting to know me. My experience mostly so far has been compartmentalized in 5D, as that's the clan that I've been assigned, or fleet, I should say, 5D1. Um, as a whole, I've been very impressed with the resilience of this community. Um, I'll be honest, my very first experience in leadership with 5D as an admiral was a few problems. There was problems that we were dealing with as far as the admiralty was concerned, multiple problems. But I was shocked at how fast the leadership in this clan reacted, how decisive their actions were, and how everybody was able to come together and solve the issues. And that just is a testament to 5D and the leadership here. Also, that being said, the community as a whole, I was also impressed with the willingness of members in this clan to come forward and help other members in IRL situations. I'm not going to mention any names or what was said or done, but there's been a few instances with people in this room that have actually like even reached out and financially helped people in this clan for no other reason than just to be nice and be a good human and just to help out the community. So, hats off to that. Very impressive. And like I said, I'm gonna keep it short. I'm still getting to know all of you, so I really don't have that much to add. But there is one thing I wanted to add. Again, I noticed that a lot of guys were basically sticking to their own fleets during clan battles, so that is understandable. I would just encourage everybody, though, now that clan battles is over, to take your time, pop into with people you don't know, try and div with guys from other fleets, um, and just get to know everybody better. There is a skill gap also in the clan. So there are guys that are, super unicum, and then there are guys that are just casual players that just want to improve. Great way to get better is to div with one of those super unicoms. If you see a guy that's, got a really good win rate. He's doing great. Introduce yourself, say hi, and ask him to div up. I know everybody in here is very friendly. They'd be more than happy to, jump in there and play a few games with you. Other than that, I think that's all I have to say for now. So, Jem, if you want to hand it over to somebody else.
Yeah, Plato, appreciate you. To reinforce that, that's a great observation. Thank you for that. For everyone, yeah, it's the off season. What's the risk, right? Jump in there, get to know people. We're all 5D. Let's do it. Let's see here. Sem, are you here in my games? All right, Sem is not here. So of his talking points that he had, there was one thing that I wanted to harp on, or not harp on, but I guess clarify, and that's the, you know, people, if what happens if you need a video card? What happens if you have a component that's, maybe available that you'd like to offer out, right? There was discussion. Some people didn't like in the port when every once in a while, it's an outlier. Every once in a while, somebody will say, "I need something. Can you help me out?" Believe it or not, I had people message me and say, "This isn't the place for that. Go buy it yourself." What I mean? You don't know what kind of situation those people are in, right? You just don't know, and that's not fair to them. Then we are a community. And what's the point of being a community if you can't, you know, do stuff like that and help each other out? So here's the guidelines. We've talked about it, and here's kind of what is fair and what's reasonable. If you are in need of help, if it's a computer component, that's the easiest example I can come up with. Okay, but if you're needed of help, real world help, you can go ahead, make a post inside of the port, right, the fleet port, where everyone just kind of the general chat. The tag, if you're going to tag everybody inside the warships community, say what tag do they use?
WoW's an A member.
Okay, WoW's NA member. I'm going to restate that. Tag WoW's NA member. Okay. More importantly, the tag that you do not use is what?
Everybody or here.
So you don't tag here and you don't tag everybody, because that tags 800 something people that are inside of the 5D Discord period playing other games, you name it. And they don't want to be bothered with a warships player that's looking for a solid state hard drive. I don't know. So
Currently 1,000 accounts that would be being
there's 1,000 accounts. The amount of email messages that we get when somebody accidentally tags everybody or here, you'd be surprised about how quickly that frustrates people, because they don't know who you are. But inside the warships community, if you tag that at WoW's NA member, that's everyone in here. That's 229 accounts. So that's good enough. And then the second request is this: you can put that post one time. Please, if you don't like the responses that people are giving you, or if you don't get whatever response, don't repost and retag the same thing, because you've already tagged them all. They've all seen it. On that note, I will add this: I'm learning that there are people in here that don't know that when you have a little red notification tied to a channel, somebody has tagged your name or your role to that. So clear that stuff out. Go check everything out. Go to the bottom most recent post so your stuff's clear, so you can keep up to date when people do tag you.
Who doesn't know that?
Yeah, right, chat. I don't know. Who the hell mumble, mumble, mumble. So, on that note, that's fair. And then I would say that if you're in a situation that you request a second post, the first one you can do. If you request a second post, come to one of the admirals and ask us to post it on your behalf, and we'll kind of do some backdoor messaging or use different tags. Okay. Let's see. Moving on. Sem, that was one of his talking points. King of the sofas, sir, are you in?
Sure am. I can
All
talk.
right, King, you're up, and then after King will be Bad Bob, and then War God will close this down.
All right, guys. So appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time on the holidays. I'll try and keep it brief. First of all, as some of you may know, some of you may not, that I help run the Teens Contest channel. We've had quite a few contests in there since we turned it on. Sometimes small prizes, sometimes bigger prizes. Actually, right now there's a contest going on that Thanatos is putting on that's actually quite good. And so far, I'm in the lead. So please, somebody come do better than me and take the prize away, because I'd like for somebody to win that. We're also going to have a ship giveaway very soon, as well as more smaller contests that I put on just myself. So if you haven't checked out that room before, come check it out. Look what we're doing. Look for new contest announcements in that room, and come and participate. It's fun to get a little contest going on every now and then. We can call out a couple of winners. We had Thanatos, Insane Mustang, Sneaky Devil. Gem has even won once. I don't know how that happened because we all know Gem. Even a guy, Surviving Scout has won a few times from MIA. Sate's even won. Worldwide Hater Rate has won. So we've had a lot of good winners so far. So, come get involved and be part of it. Secondly, I want to talk a little bit about something that I've seen. So when people have disputes, I've seen people sometimes just drop tags and leave. It's kind of always startles me because sometimes it's someone I've had like a conversation with like the previous night. I'm like, wait a second, where'd they go? So there's we in the Admiralty, and this is something that I specifically try and do a lot, is we're here to help resolve problems, and there's a chain of command inside your clan to help you resolve problems too. And before you just drop tags and bail, just think about it a little bit. For me, in a professional sense, I get real mad at work at people sometimes, and what I've always told myself and what I've always told other people is, before you send off that angry email, just go home for the night, wait till the next day, come back in the morning, read it again, and make sure you're absolutely represents the way you feel when you're not in the moment. And same thing with dropping tags, just like we all get heated, we all get angry sometimes, especially in clan battles. It can be stressful because we're all thinking, especially if you lose a couple games and everybody's down in the mood, and we're all thinking that guy thinks I'm an idiot and I think they're an idiot, and just let it chill out a little bit before you take that action, because you always feel differently the next day about it. And speaking of clan battles too, there's been sort of a motion a lot of these clans to do alpha and bravo teams, and that definitely has its perks, because you definitely want to push the clan to get as high as it is, and not everybody's going to be on the same level. You're not always going to have people that are around as much. I know personally for me, like I was on the bravo team at 5D because I think I only played like 30 or 40 games total for clan battles, because I got a busy schedule. I got life and kids and whatnot, and I'm not going to let myself be offended by that. I know I'm a good player in the realms that I know, but I also know there's some ships I'm not that great in because I don't get as much playtime in them. And sometimes they might need someone who can play those ships, to be in the alpha team. So before you let yourself be offended for being, like, oh my gosh, why am I not, bravo? Why am I bravo? Why am I not alpha? Just think about that. There's a lot of factors that go into that, and it's really subjective. And sometimes it's just like, hey, things are working really well with this group right here. We've had a lot of success. So let's just keep doing that until it doesn't work anymore. And then we'll, try and figure it out. So don't take it too personally. And then for the, those people who are in charge of making the alpha and bravo teams, try and just think about the way that it makes people feel sometimes, and talk to them about it and explain your rationale, and be honest with people. And if there's ways that people can improve to be part of the alpha team, if you're like, hey, this person's really good in these two ships, but we don't need those two ships in our clan comp, say, hey man, why don't you go get good into Moskva or get good into Des Moines, or a ship that we really need, and then let's talk about moving you up if that's what you need to do. So transparency and honesty is always the best way to go, and is always going to help people realize where they need to be. And then just everybody just try not to take it personally, and try to just roll with the punches. That's the best I can say about that.
Sweet, appreciate you, King. Did you have anything else you want to add, or you good?
No, I think that's it.
Awesome. And Bad Bob, I guess before I hand it off to you, I just want to remind everybody, as soon as we're done, everyone's going to fall into their respective divisions. So 5D, find a channel, 2, find a channel, 3, etc. And your captains are going to have final thoughts. Go ahead, Bob.
All right, thank you. First thing that I want to cover is kind of like a recruitment spiel, because I don't know how many of you that are absolutely new and so forth here, but I'm sure that you may or may not have heard it. Some of you have. We basically have just only a few rules. The first 3 are have fun. Second rule, have fun. Tertiary rule, have fun. That being said, you need to be respectful to your clanmates. Do not take comments personal. and please don't make personal attacks. Now, the other rule here that I really want to hit on is that harassment. There will be no gender bashing. There's no religious bashing. There's no political bashing. There's no sexual orientation bashing. Now, this is a joke that I've always said, due to the phallic nature of torpedoes and where they can be placed, expect that to happen. But that's pretty much it on that. I did just the three or the four rules, so forth. That's common sense, mostly. You know, if you don't know where the line is, keep your mouth shut and don't cross it. Now, going on to, I guess the culture of 5D. Every division seems to develop its own culture, but we also try to keep in mind that what our actual fifth dimension gaming thing says, you know, fidelity, integrity, camaraderie, and excellence. I have seen quite a bit of that in my time here, and it's just where we're going. I think that we have the potential to increase that and increase our actual size, which it's actually been discussed with the potential mergers that are inbound. It was also stated that 5D, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 are currently competitive divisions. 5 is going to be one that can come online within 6 months or so. Expect that to happen. We will see. That's currently under discussion. Expect also to see not all of the 1 through 4 to be full, okay? Because as Jem stated earlier, that we do have to have room for integration. So do not expect them to be full and say, oh, well, I can move over there. They've got extra, extra room. Any transfers are going to be discussed in between. You need to bring it to the attention of your captain, and the captains have to discuss it, and they have final say on that. Now, the other thing I want to continue to talk about here is competitive. What is a competitive division here? By the definition of competitive, it's where somebody has a strong desire to win or be the best at something or be as good or better than others, and so forth here. It's in a competition. So it's an adjective. So when we say a competitive team, to me, I think we need to add a couple extra adjectives to it, like a social, casual, hardcore. Okay, because to me, hardcore competitive team is balls to the wall, 4 nights a week, 3 days of practice, a lot of strategizing, a lot of practice in the training rooms, and so forth. To me, that's hardcore. That is a serious freaking commitment. Not all of us are able to do that. And to my knowledge, we don't have a hardcore competitive team. So one of the things that's going to be defined by your captains, and if you have any questions on what their definition or their goal is for a competitive team, you need to be very active in getting those questions answered. Ask them, find out what it is, where their goal is, what they're going to do, how they're going to get there, and what is going to be required of you to do so. The other thing I'm going to speak on is balance. This is a game. You know, everybody has a family and so forth. Be respectful of people's ability to be on and so forth. Find that balance that you have or that you can have or cannot have. You know, the wife gets on your ass too much about playing and so forth. We've all been there with wives or girlfriends, so forth. You need to balance your life, balance everything out so that you don't get burnt out and that you still meet the requirements of your real life. Real life takes precedence over this game, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It takes precedence. Okay. The next thing is going to be I hope that you gentlemen take your holiday serious, your holiday season serious. Find your peace and your happiness in here and now, and have fun, relax, enjoy it. You guys have a very very merry holiday, very merry Christmas, happy holiday, happy New Year's, and so forth. That's pretty much it for me. Remember, after War God speaks, that we're going to be doing a fallback to the divisions for follow-ups. That's
All right.
pretty much it.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob. All right, gentlemen. From the looks of things, we got 72 people in this meeting, which I think beats our, 36-person record from last time, Jim?
Last time started 36. We ended up over 60 at the end of it, though.
Okay. All right. Either way, we beat our record. We kind of shattered it there. So we have a lot of people in this community right now. We're a strong community, and we're getting stronger. That's what this tells me. Right now, we got 2 Typhoon teams, one of which is pushing Hurricane. We got 1 Storm team, which is pushing Typhoon. We've got other clans that are asking to come and join us. We're a growing community. If anybody had told me where we were going to be in December of this year, in February when I took over this clan, I would have thought they were nuts. We had 2 fledgling clans that were barely hanging on together, and we were barely able to scrape together a team that could even make it to Storm. And right now, I think we've really turned around this situation, and it's all due to you guys. It's all due to the leadership here. You guys have been great. There's quite a few people here I could call out for absolutely outstanding work, and I intend to name Sate right now. Sate has kept this Discord up and running. He's made constant and consistent improvements to it. He's been on damn near all the time we need him to be on to fix stuff. It's unreal what this man does for this clan. Sate is an absolute genius, and he does absolute outstanding work. Hero, when it comes to Hero had a clan which we were thinking about dissolving and moving into 5D1 at the start of this season because we didn't think he was going to have the people, and that has turned around, and he has got himself a Typhoon team. Things change on a dime. We have great people here. We have great leadership here. You all have been very, very, very good. This has not been the easiest year for me personally. I've had brain surgery. My mind moves a little slower now, but I have to rely on my leadership team. And I'm pleased to say I'm surrounded by some of the very best people that you could have in this game. Jim, Bad Bob, Mind Games, Plato, King of the Sofas. These are all really, really, really solid admirals. And if you need anything and you come to any one of us, we're going to see that your needs are met because that's who we are and that's what we do. Our needs are to look after your needs and the needs of the clan. We want to have a fun gaming community here. That's what we're trying to create. That's what we want to encourage. And that's what we want to continue. All right. We look forward to this upcoming year. It's going to be, if it's anything like this year, it's going to be the most successful year this clan's seen in this game ever. Possibly the most successful year this clan's ever seen, period, anywhere in any of their games. At least that's what we're hoping, and that's what we're setting us up for. These admirals gave you a lot to think about tonight. So I want you all to break up into your captains, ask your questions, and if you have any sort of things that need to be brought to our attention, your captains will bring them to us, and we'll answer them in due course as soon as we possibly can. But I encourage you to get in there and ask your questions and figure out where you want to go this next year. I want everybody to have a really safe holiday break. Don't do anything stupid, and I expect to see all of you back here next year. So I want to continue playing with all of you. Thank you all for your support and for your membership in this clan. Good luck and have a happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and whatever else there is. You can go to your respective rooms with your commanders now.
Here.
Sweet.